Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, welcome to another market open stream. Let's talk about Bitcoin's next big move. Okay. There are a lot of things happening right now that you don't want to miss. So, let's talk about it. And let's talk about some alts, including CZ and his effect on crypto, which is vast. All right. That's it. Let's do this, guys. Let's do this. Welcome. We are starting out the day a little bit better than yesterday. Bitcoin at 122.5, and we're seeing a little bit of green today. And BNB finally calmed down, but BNB is at $1,300. But others like ETH seeing a little green, Sol seeing a little green, XRP a little green, AVAX a little green. So we're seeing a slight recovery. And with the US market, we're seeing green, a little green. So that's good. And yesterday, like Coinbase and MicroStrategy didn't do well. Today they're doing good, and Hut and Riot, they're all doing good right now. All right, so are we gonna get any macro news? Well, there's one thing that's gonna come out today, and that's the Fed minutes. Okay, I mean, there's been a lot of other speakers talking. I don't think anyone really said anything newsworthy, I guess. But we do have the FOMC minutes from last month. So I don't expect it to be like anything crazy, right? We already have 2 more rate cuts locked in. Unless something dramatically happens, we're going to get those 2, including 1 later this month and 1 in December. So it really, out of the meeting, they're probably going to say something like, oh, they all voted for 25 basis point cut, and Steven Moran, the new person, wants 50 basis point, but they didn't really consider it as a group, something along those lines. I just don't see how there could be anything else different that comes from it, right? But, right now we're still in this government shutdown, obviously. But what does that actually do for markets? You would think that government shutdowns are bad for markets, right? That there's market confusion and no one knows what's going to happen, and Wall Street probably doesn't like that. But, here's the surprising thing. Government shutdowns leads to, really good performance. Here's all the government shutdowns that we had since 1980. And this is 100 days after, and then you have 1 year after. So apparently we had a short stint in 2019 where we went up 18% right afterwards. The 2020 to 2022 and 2018 was the only one after 100 days we were still down a little bit. But you look at the 2013 one, we were up 10%, and then 6%, 10%. I mean, you go on and on and on. And then you look at what about after 1 year? Not just after 100 days, after 3 months, but after 1 year. And you could see how we're really in the green for most of the years, with the exception of 2018 and 2013, where they ended up in red. But look at the 2019 one, we were up 36%. And then 1996, we're up 21%, 1995, up 26%, 1986, up 43%. So bottom line is, government shutdowns could be good. Could be good for investments, right? And if you're basing it off of the last 10 that we had since 1980, not just good, really, really good. Really good indeed. So let's see if this stays true. So far, ever since the government shutdown started, things been going up and up and up. So far it's true. All right. Now, on to Bitcoin and crypto. Bitcoin yesterday still had a tremendous inflow, mostly from BlackRock. So you could see how everyone else was at zero. Grayscale sold a little bit, but BlackRock still in 900 million. So this kind of proves to me that BlackRock and others that are buying BlackRock ETF, they understand that there will be manipulation. And I believe yesterday we had a huge amount of manipulation yesterday. Okay, that was the point of my night video. And that's the reason why we went down, because yesterday made no sense. There was really no reason for the entire market to come down yesterday, other than this one character or this one exchange that may have done it. But Wall Street certainly, at least BlackRock, didn't fall for it. We didn't have massive red. No, we still had close to $1 billion being bought. So BlackRock and company understands that this is the time to be accumulating. This is not time to be fearful and getting out. That's what that shows. 900 million inflow from BlackRock. Yet yesterday was a down day. So think about it. They were definitely not the cause. Wall Street was not the cause for the sell-off. BlackRock was not the cause for the sell-off. They're doing the opposite. They're buying when others are panicking. And yesterday somehow, you know, just because we went down like 2%, 3%, a lot of people were panicking. So, and same thing, if you look at Ethereum, yesterday, who bought $437 million? BlackRock. Again, BlackRock and company, they're loading up when others are fearful. That's just really it. So yesterday was definitely not caused by Wall Street. And I'll get to who I think caused yesterday. But as we move forward, Bitwise predicts that inflows will go even higher. We're in Q4 now, but Bitwise predicts that there's going to be an astronomical number of people and liquidity coming in because of this debasement trade that's happening right now. The weakening of the dollar. It's the reason why gold is at all-time high, and it's also the reason why a lot of money is going to flow into crypto. So it's going to be very exciting within the next few months. Very exciting indeed. Economist Timothy Peterson puts Bitcoin at $140,000 by the end of this month. And that is a place that a lot of TA guys have been talking about. That's like the next leg up, 140,000, right? By the end of this month, hitting 140,000, and then maybe by the end of November, 180,000, and then December, who knows? 200,000 plus can certainly happen. But according to AI, ChatGPT, by Thanksgiving, it's hard to read this, but basically it says, in a moderate bull, we'll see a 20 to 50% gain. If we're in a bear market, we could see a 20 to 30% decrease. So in a bear market, if somehow we enter like deep bear market, we could see Bitcoin go down to 85,000, 95,000. But in a base, just a base scenario, will be anywhere from 120,000 to 160,000. But in a bullish scenario, we can see 170 to 200,000 by Thanksgiving. So if we just go through that base, if we just go by base, it's predicting by end of, November, we should be around $160,000, which, is a little bit more than this. And then we can build off of that. But if we're in a really bullish scenario because of the debasement trade that's happening or government shutdown, right? Rate cuts, that's still going to be happening. We could be between 170 to 200,000 by end of Thanksgiving. Again, not too far off from where we are right now. We're only 2 months away. 2 months away. Right? And from a TA perspective, here's something. The MACD is about to flip. Generally speaking, when that happens on the weekly scale, so it doesn't happen very often on a weekly scale, when you see that happen, you could see good things happen with the price. In 2024, we saw 73%, and that was after rate cuts started. Earlier this year in May, we saw a 33% increase. So now, are we going to get somewhere in between? Somewhere between 33 to 73%, or maybe even higher than that. The conditions are lining up. You know, it's kind of like a perfect storm of everything that's happening. And it's all going to lead to good things. And it's not just Bitcoin. I guess you guys know that. Not just Bitcoin. Yesterday, I didn't even know this. We made an all-time high with the entire market cap for crypto. All-time high. So that means money is definitely flowing in. But obviously to the winners right now, right? There are a few outliers, the ones that have been performing really well. Not everything. But this is just the beginning. In the next 3 months, we're going to see more money flow into this space. From Wall Street because of the ETFs, and from Bitcoin holders that may be wanting some more upside, right? And to the whales that are still sitting on the sidelines. There's like $300 billion of stables out there. What do you think is going to be done with the stables, right? So it's like a perfect storm. Perfect storm. For you ETH guys, people forgot Jack Ma and Alibaba bought a huge ETH reserve, besides just Tom Lee's, bit miner. But yeah, we still have the ETF inflows from BlackRock. I showed you $500 million yesterday. So 5K forecast should be right around the corner. And can ETH go up from there and maybe go to 10,000 or 12,000 by the end of this cycle? Quite possibly, especially with all the accumulation. Even Robert Kiyosaki somehow became an ETH guy. Look at this. End of the dollar, adding to my gold, silver, Bitcoin, and ETH. He never really talked about ETH before. Now all of a sudden, he's throwing ETH in his tweets. Maybe I think he sees ETH as like silver to Bitcoin's gold, right? That's how he sees it. But it's really different. But you know what? There are going to be a lot of people that's going to be accumulating ETH. So that helps. And then, of course, Solana is still going to do very well because you have a lot of people that are FOMOing, a lot of people that are building, including myself, a lot of people that are adding to their treasuries. Okay. Their annual revenue is outpacing Ethereum by 30x right now. That's how much volume it has. And just keep in mind, Solana's fees are much lower than Ethereum too. But yeah, you got a lot of accumulation as well. Forward Industries launches a validator with 1.7 billion staked. That's crazy. I didn't even know you could stake that much in a validator. But there are many that are doing so. That's a smart way to hold and to earn fees, right? Just like staking. A lot of you guys do stake in your wallet or stake, an LP or stake in some kind of, just somewhere, right? In a validator. It's a good way to make fees while you're holding. So good for them. And then lastly, we got to talk about CZ and his effect on crypto, which is very, very, very vast right now. Very vast right now. Everyone seems to be listening. And you heard my video yesterday. It's like you got all these guys jumping on a bandwagon now. But CZ says his Forbes net worth is way too high. Forbes came out their new list, I guess, and lists CZ as the 21st richest person on the planet with a net worth of $87.3 billion. I don't know how they came up with that, but they're probably estimating his percentage stake in Binance and how much Bitcoin they hold and how much Bitcoin he holds, and they're putting it together. He's saying that it is way too high But there's no doubt his net worth, even if it's half of this, right, is vast. So he's at least worth like $40 billion. Or even if you go like a little bit below that, $20 billion. The guy is freaking rich. Okay. Let's just put it that way. And they are really making a big push for BNB. I don't even recall last cycle that he had this kind of effect. Maybe because it was all because the DOJ and the SEC and the CFTC, they were all going after Binance, and he went to jail for four months. Maybe that's the reason why. But last cycle, I didn't hear them make such a big push. But this year, this cycle, they're going all out right now. Binance Labs, or the former Binance Labs, now called the YZ Labs, announced $1 billion fund for BNB developers. Obviously, earlier this month, or earlier last month, they came out with the hyperliquid competitor, Aster, and that caught on fire. That kind of kickstarted things. But this also, like, let's go kickstart a lot for the ecosystem. And then plus, CZ is also talking a lot about memes. A lot about memes. There's this one that I don't, it's a Chinese one. It's a $500 million. And what's interesting about this is supposedly this thing died because a hacker dumped all of his tokens. And then CZ talks about how the community took it over. And now, of course, that thing is pumping to the moon because CZ highlighted it. He also highlighted another one called 4. And that one pumped to the moon. And then he pumped more to the moon by saying, well, it's BNB meme season, right? And then now every meme on BNB is pumping to the moon. So the CZ effect is real. It's real. It says one turned $3,500 into a $7.9 million. I gotta say, I helped turn a lot of millionaires with Clash too. So, but yeah, it's vast. It's vast. And in case you're wondering, right now, BNB, this looks at where it's taking liquidity from, but there's a ton of ETH, Sol, and others like Arbitrum and many other chains. The liquidity is flying into BNB chain right now because of the CZ effect. Will this last? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe it will last. Maybe not. But I just don't recall them going all out like this even last cycle. But now I guess they're free. They made a deal with the government. CZ is no longer being prosecuted. They're just going all out and pushing. And I guess that's a good thing. I guess that's a good thing. All right, guys. All right, it's Orga. You know what? There's no need for comments like that. You're getting banned from the channel. All right, guys. That is it. Today's market is green. So today we should see a green day. Bitcoin should be flipping around. Sol should be flipping around. Maybe BNB doesn't flip around because it's already sky high. And then I'm hoping Clash flips around. So Clash is sitting at about 50 million, slightly lower than yesterday, unfortunately. But you know what? What's most important is the holder count went up. Holders went up. That means more people are getting involved in the community. Discord is still awesome. So those of you guys that haven't joined Discord, you should. We've been gaining like 200 to 300 people in Discord, and mostly for Clash fan, But there are still people that are talking about other stuff. All right, guys. Let's do some Q&A. And I have some announcements for Clash in terms of giveaways and Yeah, yesterday I had to FOMO into some BNB because my BNB holdings are very light. Not that I really wanted to do it, but you know, it's a smart thing to do. But I don't have Aster anymore. I got so sick of Aster and its manipulation, so I got rid of Aster. I'm not muted. Do you agree with Raul's assessment of Bitcoin peaking Q2 next year? I just think there's a very good chance we continue forward. We don't just end in December. So I don't know when it's going to peak. I think it could be just a continuous climb forever from now on. I don't think there is like a peak where it's like the end of the cycle anymore. I think we could just continue forever. There will be dips. There will still be consolidation periods where we may have to wait like 6 months before we see a big movement, but we may not see crypto winter anymore. Super proficiency, 4,200 trophies in my first week. Congrats. Actually, I had a pretty fun time last night playing with a new deck, a new hyperbait deck that actually, I think I just wasn't using well. I still won a few games, but I don't think I was doing it right. I think that deck is actually pretty good. I don't know of a single token I sold that hasn't rugged. Clash hasn't. Turbo and others haven't. I don't know if they're on Sol. There's a lot of big memes on Sol. When meme season comes back, Sol is going to be very strong again. And I hope Clash is leading the way on Sol. Because we are already we're in the top 600 of all projects ever created. And if you look at just the pump.fun projects, we're like the top 15. So it's pretty amazing how far we have come. And this is just the beginning. When more favorable conditions hit, there's nothing stopping Clash from hitting $1 billion. And I'm still working on very big things. Bonk, Whiff, they're like the newcomers. Bonk is doing much better than Whiff, but they're sitting pretty good. What time period is a meme season? I think it's coming in the next few months, 3 months, 2-3 months. I think October hasn't really hit its stride yet. It will. And then Pumpvember will hit. And then you have a Santa rally in December. S2K Roma, I appreciate that. Appreciate it. Any update on your e-bike scam incident? No, I just lost $1,000. I gave up on it. It's not worth my troubles to try to work on that. I'm worried about my portfolio, Justin asked. 32K on Binance. How imperative is it to get a trust wallet or something? Is there a time I could transfer with avoid fees? If you're transferring with like Sol or something, it's like no fees at all. You don't have to worry about that. And if you have 32K on Binance, you know what? I don't think Binance will go anywhere, but you never know what may happen. The best thing is to get most of it, if not all of it, onto like a trust wallet, which is controlled by Binance anyways. But at least it's self-custody. The most important thing about any wallet is the recovery phrase. How you secure that, where you put it, that's the most important thing. Any boost coming from Clash on DEXs for more exposure. Jermaine, those boosts are all scams. They do nothing. They're money makers for DEX Screener and DEX Tools and CMC. They want you to boost it, but it does absolutely nothing because OG guys in the space never pays attention to them and knows that only small projects would boost the project. So no, like this. Is anyone looking at this because it's boosted? No, it's like it's just a waste of money. So what I'm pushing for is true collabs, true partnerships. Like I'm working on something I think potentially game changing with DEX Tools. There are things in motion and there are things that they are doing. And I want Clash to be a big part of it. So that's something that's going to be a game changer. But that's not coming like right away. Also, I'm trying to work with the wallet makers to get official support on Clash, which should be easy because of Sol-based token. Electronum 2.0. Massive partnership. Electronum, man, I've just not been paying attention. They're like such a 2018 project. Can I buy Clash of WeX or MEXC? Yes, you can. Or LBank. MEXC has the most liquidity, although it's still not that good. So I would suggest just doing it on Phantom Wallet. It seems like most people still don't use a wallet. You should. It's really not that complex. Phantom Wallet is a terrific browser-based or mobile wallet. Again, just write down that recovery phrase. Make sure you store it somewhere. And then put some Sol in it, and you could swap. It's really easy. It's not as complex as people are making it out to be. Vortex Line LLC. George, please confirm me that I'm a good place on Syncope. What is Syncope? It's a big super chat, but I have no idea what you're talking about. Is it a project? No. Sorry, man. I have no idea what you're talking about. We're having good recovery today. What do you think about using Facebook marketing for Clash? Again, when it comes to community coins, when I see ads on publication or something, no, especially Facebook. Facebook people, they're not going to pay attention to those scam ads. There's so many of them everywhere, right? We need legitimate people in this space, and we need to change our minds, right? Just like how I'm changing a lot of your minds that are watching right now that would never, ever consider a meme coin. But knowing that this project is backed by me and I'm not going to be rugging people, I'm basing my reputation on it, it has changed some people's minds, right? That's what we need. There's so many people in this space that already know what community coins are or meme coins or whatever, and they just don't understand or trust. That's where we have to change our minds. That's what the giveaways are for, to kind of get people excited. But the most important thing is the tournaments, right? And I have some big ideas for tournaments. I want to add more and cater to like the really good players. Good. See, we're seeing good recovery today. Come back to 123 soon. Stocks are also doing well. Man, AMD just doesn't stop. I keep waiting for AMD to stall so I could buy some options. It doesn't. Nvidia is doing good. Hood is doing good. Coinbase doing good. Oracle doing good. But yesterday had a huge drop, so they're still trying to recover from that. Good recovery right now. I need staking reward for keeping my Clash on Phantom Wallet. There's no staking right now. Maybe down the road, but no staking right now. Jamie, you tell me. I do have all the links. You can, if you just want to stick with the SEX, WeX, Mexi, LBank, they all have trading open already. There's another one, KSEX or something like that. I've never heard of and used, but they also listed. I'm working with Phoenix right now, Blowfin, CoinW, and BitUnix on more listings. The weird thing about listings is that most of them want a market maker, and I don't have a market maker. So again, it's all organic right now. So a lot of them have a problem without market making. But like I said, I'm still working with the DEX tools, potentially something big, going to work with the wallets to get that going, working with more communities to get them involved in the tournaments. I'm spending a lot of time on this. And growing out our tournaments too. $123. If we get back above this trend line, that would be pretty good. Token economics for Clash is very simple. You could find it anywhere on Pump or on CMC. It's 100. It's 1 billion. 1 billion tokens. There's no inflation. It's a set supply. And the LP's burned. It's on, well, it's not burned, but it's locked on Pump Fund, so I can't access the LP. But a lot of the community members have been adding to the LP, which is good, and increasing liquidity. Marcus, as I watched it since 2020 and know about your knee prime, finally found something that worked for me. It's an ex-martial arts guy who's doing movement optimization. You know, my knee problem actually went away. It's like fully healed. It's not strong, not like before. It's not like I could jump like before in my 20s or 30s. But I have no pain, no movement, no weakness anymore. And it really started when I committed to dropping weight, first of all, but also when I finally like cut out most of the carbs. Like now I cheat a little more with carbs, but for a long period of time, I just cut out basically 98% of carbs. And that removed the inflammation and basically let it truly heal. And now it is fully healed. I don't even think about it. So it's really good. It's really good. So it really comes down to inflammation, dropping the weight and cutting carbs, especially in the US, because US carbs suck. They're all processed stuff. And if you're in Europe or Asia, I guess maybe it's less of a problem. But in the United States, the carbs like from pastas and like breads and rice, they're all horrible. Andy, congrats. Yeah, I honestly think, I'm no doctor, obviously, and I'm not a nutritionist, but I honestly think 50% of people's like medical problems go away when they drop weight. But some doctors refuse to tell you that. So like, you know, maybe like 2 years ago, you know, I had blood work done and everything's high. Like, you know, like cholesterol's high, blood pressure's high, triglycerides high, like, you know, because I was extremely overweight and I had knee problems, right? And then, you know, like, what did the doctors want? They wanted to prescribe you all this stuff, all this medication. And then they wanted me to, you know, go get more injections for my knee. They wanted me to either, you know, do that or get a full knee replacement. And then after a year, I dropped like probably 30 pounds, probably a little bit over 30 pounds. And all my measurements went back to normal. And my knee got better without anything. You know, so if the doctor was just like brutally honest and said, "Hey, you're just a fat ass and you need to drop weight," um, you know, that's the true solution. You know, then that would have been fine. But you know, most doctors are too soft for that, or maybe patients don't want to hear that. But I honestly feel like 50% of the problems that people see just because they're just extremely overweight. Faz, what's your opinion on buying Clash on Soulflare? People do it. Any soul-based place, basically. You could buy a Meteora, but the liquidity pool is not as high. But Soulflare is fine. Jupiter is where I recommend, but you can do it in Phantom Wallet. You can do it anywhere, really. Vortex Line sends another super chat. I don't know. I couldn't even answer your last one. I don't know what you're talking about. This one says, do you have a VIP trade group? Do you have me mistaken with someone else? I don't have a VIP trade group. But I do have boot camp. I have an excellent teacher named Tyler in my Discord. So if you're looking for trading advice, I don't know. Is that, or do you want like a group of people? I don't know what you're asking. Any planned accelerators plan for growth like listings? Yes. Yes. And you got to be patient. That's the problem with most people in the community. They're not patient. They think if you have a down week that it's over and then they sell at a loss and then they FOMO back in when things recover. Just like with Bitcoin, just like with Sol or BNB or ETH or SUI, it's not going to always go up forever. Nothing goes up forever. There will be down periods. But if you believe in a project, you know it's led by good people or good fundamentals, right? You just stick with it. DCA along the way or just simply HODL. That's it. Jamie, appreciate that. Drop tier. I will never send you a request in Discord unless like I personally say it. But there's a lot of impersonator in Discord, unfortunately. That's the biggest downside. That try to act like me or Josh or Tyler or whatever in Discord and they try to like say, oh, be friends with me or whatever. No one's gonna DM you. That's why my username in Discord is I will not DM you first. Okay, see, that's me right there. George won't DM you first, which means I won't DM you first. So if you get any DMs, it's not from me. That's the only thing. But when you go in there, you go in general chat and just talk about whatever you want, general crypto stuff. You go in there to learn about TA, which we got a lot of people doing that. You could talk about their memes as well if you wanted to. Okay? You got some card chat going on. Of course, you got the Clash Royale chat and all the links and rules and everything that's in here. If you want to learn more, everything is in here. Very enthusiastic group in here. And we got 5,400 people now. Not all 5,400 people in at the same time, but you guys get it. Any thoughts on David Schwartz leaving Ripple? It seems like he's still very into XRP Ledger. He just wants to enjoy his life. It sounded like he made like $1 billion and now he wants to spend it. Like he's been working so hard at it. That's how I interpret it. That he just wants to enjoy the good life right now. That's why he's stepping down. And he deserves it, like I said. You can see people chiming in right now because they know I'm showing it on stream. This is like Inception, watching George's stream and sending my message to see on stream. That's exactly what it's like. Tropics, give me some options on some coins for my birthday. Come on. Clash is one of them. The biggest one is Clash because I'm the one that's running it. I'm the dev. I'm leading the charge and I'm putting all my efforts into it if you haven't paid attention. Any alpha for your IMT NFT holders? Not right now planned. I do have some thoughts. But no, not to the Vegas trip because the Vegas trip is only for Clash holders. The top 500, and I may... Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that. That's real, by the way. All right, I'm going to get out of there before something inappropriate is posted. I'm not lifting that much, mostly cardio, but I lifted a lot in my 20s and 30s, so I still have all my muscle. It's just it's covered under layers of fat. So as I'm dropping weight, the muscle is just naturally reappearing. I'm gonna have to not flex right now. I did a lot of lifting in my 20s and 30s. I wasn't huge, but I did a good amount, I would say. Is there a way to see if I'm the top 500 holder? Yeah, you go into Soul Scan and go to holders and then just scroll down until you see top 500. Like if you copy the address and then you go to Soul Scan and go to holders there's 6,169 holders, so almost 6,200. And then you can see the percentages. Even MEXC is a holder because I didn't provide them any liquidity or anything. So if you go down the list, even MEXC is the 49th largest holder at 3.5 million. And then LBank's in there, and you can just keep scrolling. Top 500 is holding 145,436 Clash, which is approximately $7,400, which it's a decent amount. It's not terribly large. I think people, if you're DCAing, especially when it's down, it's much more attainable. And I will say the Vegas party, I'm not trying to hype it up too much, but you'll definitely want to go there. Not just because of the party. I will reveal a pretty big secret that the holders will know first, and it's pretty big. Just going for that alone is worth it. But on top of that, obviously the party, the drinking, the food, the entertainment, and more grand prizes there too. Depending on where the market cap is, I might go crazy and just like give away a car during the party. So it's definitely one you don't want to miss. I think a lot of people overlook it. It's like, I don't care about party. It's one you actually don't want to miss. It really is. So if you can make it, great. I'll probably do some giveaways also for tickets outside the top 500. But if you want a guaranteed invite, make it in the top 500. Partnership with One Ocean Foundation. I have no idea who One Ocean Foundation is. Andres. All right, now let's talk about a little bit about the giveaway. So I changed things yesterday. I made it even more enticing that I'll reveal today. So a lot of you guys know that I've been giving away Clash, giving away Sol for Clash holders, right? As a way to reward loyal people in the community. But I'm rewarding that loyalty even more. So whenever I do these random draws, right? And you have to hold at least 1,000 Clash at the draw time, otherwise you're not eligible. But if I announce something and you happen to hold more Clash, like if you hold 10,000, I will give you 1.5x what I'm giving out. If you hold 100,000, you get 2x. If you hold 1 million, you get 3x. And I have selected some whales before on air, so you guys know it happens. So last night, I happened to give away 3. I picked out 3 winners, and they all had over 10,000. So they all won even more Sol from me. So that's a new thing at this tiered multiplier bonus for Clash holders, for the loyal Clash holders. So if you guys want to be eligible, obviously fill out the form. It's in the description. We got 2,238 responses. That number goes up every single day. But once you're in there forever. You're like, it's almost like a lifetime raffle, and you only need to enter once. As long as you hold the minimum amount, you can win forever, multiple times. All right, let's do some right now. All right, I have to do this in stages because there's just way too many addresses. But like I said in the past, I am building this out in my webpage. So hopefully by the end of this week, I don't have to do this anymore. I'll do the first 800. Still waiting. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm gonna select 3. Give away 0.3 Sol, and then with the multiplier effect kicking in, First winner. Okay, let's see what he has. 12,000 Clash. Unfortunately, that's not above. Wait, is it? Yeah, that's above 10,000. So that's a 1.5 multiplier. So instead of 0.3, 0.45, that's exactly what happened last night. So first winner getting 0.45. See how that works? Just really that simple. Let's do the next one between 801 and like 1500, something like that. Let's do 1500. Could you not have ChatGPT pick random addresses? Sure I can, but this is more fun. People like to see the wheel spin. All right, second winner. $57,000 Clash, not quite up to the 100,000 multiplier tier, but you know what? He still gets it. He gets the 1.5. So another 1.45 Sol. All right. And then let's do the final draw. And this is where the newcomers, if you've been filling this out, this is where you get your chance. You know, I also want to do something for like, some of these addresses are invalid. I could tell already. I also want to do something for like live viewers in the future. I just haven't figured out the best way to do that yet. All right, final draw. Guy Gex. Congrats if it's you. 45,000 Clash. Again, multiplier. A lot of people holding a lot of Clash. I'm glad to hear it or see it. So another winner, 0.45. There you go. That's a decent amount right there. That's like $100. So congrats to the 3 new winners. Always rewarding Clash holders. And most importantly, it's about getting the community bigger and stronger. Live viewers on Pump or YouTube or both? Both. I've been streaming both. I've been averaging like maybe 200 on YouTube and about 100 on Pump on normal days, so about 300 people watching. I'm hoping more of you guys watch. It's at 8 p.m. Central, so it's right after. It's usually like a half hour after my night video. NYZ Sunny. Would you get a 911 Turbo S or GT3 or Lambo Huracan? Out of those three, the Turbo S will probably be the most enjoyable to drive. The one that will hold its value the best is GT3. I'm not a big fan of Huracans. They look great, and I'm sure they're fast, but it's too like overplayed, I guess, at this point. Way too many people have it, and it's not that cool to own anymore. So I would either get the Turbo S or the GT3. Your boy Drizzy, I appreciate that. What cars do I have? Big car collection. I have a decent car collection. My newest car is a Jeep Wrangler 392, which I love. I have a Cyber truck, which is a Cyber Beast. I have a Lexus LC500 convertible, which I probably won't be driving much anymore because it's getting cold. And I have a Ferrari F8 Tributo. So I have 4 cars. And I would get more if I had more garage space, but I don't. I pretty much park 2 of the cars outside all the time. Josh, would I get a Ram TRX or Ford Raptor? I would. But again, no space. Speaking of Josh, I don't think he revealed it yet, but he got a really cool truck. I'm not going to say what. I'm going to let him reveal it, but he has a really cool truck. Josh, you should post it in the Discord car chat. Joshua? Yes, that is. The Clash token's name is called George Plays Clash Royale. So I think that's very self-explanatory what what the point of the token is. Eric Jr. How FA Tributo? What do you mean how? I got it like a couple years ago. I don't drive it much. This year I've probably driven less than 50 miles in total. I always say I want to drive it, but I end up doing something else. And I never end up driving it. All right, guys. That's a long ass stream. I'm getting out of here. Overall, today's a good day. We'll see where it carries us. Yesterday, I think it was complete nonsense. A shakeout day, clearing the leverage day, highly manipulative day, but you know, we're getting beyond that. Okay? So smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Hope to see more of you guys in Discord. Make sure you join. Again, all the links that you ever need to know or whatever I'm talking about is in the description. You just have to click that more button to see it. All right, have a good one.